And welcome back, everybody. Tonight we continue our series of reports on 1968. Obviously, the focal point of the year was without a doubt the Vietnam War. 60% of the soldiers killed in Vietnam were younger than 21. All totaled, they were our fathers, our brothers, our neighbors, and our classmates. 1968 was the year that everything changed.
This is my generation.
In 1968, Holyoke's Billy Regali was a sophomore on the Purple Knights basketball team, too young to serve in Vietnam. Ned Doyle, meantime, was a cadet at West Point, eager and ready to serve his country no matter what. And Henry Payne was the most famous basketball player in Springfield, lucky to serve his community as a teacher at Commerce High School. But 14,000 miles away in Vietnam, their best friends weren't as lucky. Many never came home.
Ronnie was a happy-go-lucky person. He was someone you wouldn't mind being with, you know, all day. He loved sports. He loved to sing. He just loved to play cards. He was just a wonderful person.
Lost one of the groomsmen in my wedding, a dear friend. My roommate's brother was killed. He was class of '66. He was killed in '67 when we were there as roommates. So every day was a gut-wrenching time for us because we kept hearing not only stories but the bold realities of people that had lost their lives in service to the country.
Another of the 58,000 killed in Vietnam was Chicopee's Bob Gagne. A West Point graduate and a first lieutenant, Bob was killed in the summer of 1967. His best friend was Bill Budness, who played for the Oakland Raiders in the Super Bowl in 1968.
Graduated same year I did. I went to Boston University and got a football scholarship, and he went in to West Point. I didn't go, but you know, at times I felt, you know, almost guilty that I didn't, and I don't know why.
Closer to home, Rich Bedard was starting his freshman year at Amherst College. Rich, a former first-round draft pick of the Pittsburgh Pirates, is now the athletic director at AIC. He recalls a time in '68 when they wondered if anything would ever be the same again.
When you're growing up, you don't see really past tomorrow, past next semester, past the next game. So we were accepting all of this, not knowing what was coming next. In retrospect, it was obviously a pivotal time in our history.
Ahead in the summer and fall of 1968 were student protests at the Democratic Convention in Chicago, and Broadway Joe Namath was the toast of the sports world. And in December, Apollo 8 began man's first mission to orbit the moon, symbolic of leaving one imperfect world in search of another.
This is my generation.
All right, pretty powerful stuff. Tomorrow I'll profile Springfield basketball sensation Henry Payne from Commerce High to AIC. Henry was the toast of the town in 1968. His story tomorrow at 5:30. Ray Herschel will have more on 1968 tonight at 6. Hi, everybody. We continue our look at 1968 with a look at one of the greatest athletes to ever come out of the city of Springfield. But Henry Payne never actually came out of Springfield. He stayed, played, and prospered. You know, in troubled times, we sometimes turn to sports to take our minds off of our problems, and there were a lot of problems in 1968. And when we needed a break, it was Henry Payne who made us feel good all over again.
Every sport in every generation has its superstar, and in 1968, the man with the Midas touch was Springfield's Henry Payne. While the nation was reeling from protests and political assassinations, Henry Payne was helping people to forget about their pain. Henry had a gift, and in 1968, he was Santa Claus in high-top sneakers.
Smooth as silk, a real gentleman. Still is. Hasn't really changed. You could have predicted what Henry would be like as an adult.
I used to watch Henry Payne and Gene Riceworth battle all the time and play as much as I could because they were, you know, icons in the Springfield area. Probably some of the happiest days of my life. Back then when you went to school, it was a happy time. We didn't have police officers in the school as they do today.
Back in '68, Henry Payne was leading the AIC Yellow Jackets to the NCAA tournament. But the seeds for that success were sown during his days playing at Commerce High School for Hall of Fame coach Jack Troy. Back in the day, the place to be on a Friday night was the field house at Springfield College. There would be a high school basketball doubleheader on Friday nights, and everybody would come. There were no color lines, just end lines and free throw lines, and the will and desire to win.
You want to win the game, and to win that game, you have to pull together. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, yellow. You just pull together and you have a common cause, and that's to win the game. And it brings people closer and closer and closer together. And today, the teammates that I had at AIC, the teammates I had at Commerce, we're the closest of closest friends.
For all of Henry's success and acceptance, he was still just a young black man growing up in troubled times. Robert F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King gave people like Henry hope in 1968, but there was a limit to what you could truly allow yourself to believe in. That is, until now.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
At that time, I didn't think I would ever see one particular race of black folks, people of color, advance to this stage, get to this point in history where they would become or have the opportunity to become President of the United States.
Now, that sentiment about Barack Obama giving us a renewed sense of hope resonated with all the people of color I spoke with about 1968. And it's important to keep in mind that on May 27, 1968, Robert Kennedy spoke on the Voice of America and said within 40 years an African American could become president. Then, just like now, we believe all things are possible. Coming up tonight at 6 o'clock, Kathy Tobin will take a look at the music of 1968.